Good morning. It is November 20th, 8:14 a.m. And yeah, it is currently day two of not my 75 hard, my 30 holistic hard. And yeah, yesterday I knocked out, honestly, and I didn't get to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do, but at least I was able to get my rest. And yeah, when I woke up today, I actually kind of felt bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't start my challenge on a right note. But then, as I was actually like journaling, which I like have here, so this is where I'm tracking everything. I was like, okay, I did majority of the things that I wanted to do anyways. A lot of the things are like the new habits that I'm trying to build. So obviously I wasn't gonna get it right off the bat. But yeah, maybe I can go through what my actual things that I'm tracking the day of so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. But I basically marked it 1 through 30 for every single day. And then going down over here, I basically wrote down all the things that I'm measuring because, what gets measured basically gets improved type of thing. But yeah, so I think I only didn't do about 6 bubbles out of the, let me see how many bubbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Out of 22. And I even added some things like this morning because I was like, okay, these are things that I want to do like consistently that I didn't write down yesterday. But I think just having these like little checklists at the top of my morning, it just helps me be like, okay, I need to do this and get all this done. So I kind of feel accomplished with myself. Just setting a routine because I haven't really had a good morning routine. So some of the things that I have is like, okay, 15 to 30 minutes of like Pilates, cups of water, 10K steps, eating veggies or fruits. I didn't say like all whole foods only because I am not at the point where like I could be super healthy like that. I'm fine at least just incorporating more veggies and fruits into my diet, and like I'll be happy with that at the very least. Meditate, a skill. So I think the skill that I'm gonna pick up is piano. I didn't do that. Pray, read a TED talk just to have some type of like inspiration. My video diary, which is this to make sure that I can just track this and kind of see how my life was at this point in time. Call family, a gratitude list, stretch, basically brushing my teeth or like my morning routine, journal, limits for social media, basically making sure that I don't go over the limits and that if I need to research something, like let me pick up like Safari or whatever, if I need to do something for work so that it doesn't really force me into doom scrolling. A YouTube post, obviously this is how I'm like the video diary is to actually post to YouTube, so I'm hoping to always get it out on the same day. Drinking my collagen, practicing my splits because I want to try to get into gymnastics, and practicing my back bend, brushing my teeth at night, and then doing my skincare at like in day and night. But yeah, so you can see I like fill it in, stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I'm journaling it. So it is day two, and I'm hoping to at least attempt like those 6 bubbles that were a bit harder for me. Like for example, like 10K steps. Sometimes it's just hard because I prioritize work, which to an extent, it's like okay, yes and no, but because I work from home or like remote, it's a bit more difficult to like get as much steps in. And like I haven't been getting the exercise I need. That's why I'm forcing myself to do at least the Pilates. So I'm moving my body, even if I'm like not actually taking my 10K steps. But I do have like a very small like step machine that I could use. So I think I'm going to try to incorporate that just because like another fear of mine is just like walking outside as a woman, as an Asian woman, as a small Asian woman, because I'm like, oh my God, I might get kidnapped, whatever, and I don't have any self-defense skills. So maybe that's another thing that I'll write down for my future is eventually I would love to take a self-defense class so that I don't know how to defend myself. But yeah, on the topic of this, I guess I can use these as like spaces to kind of talk about like some of my routine and like what I do, and if the one person watching this has any tips to help me, they can kind of share too. But I'll just go over how I normally journal because I've been in a very I don't know. I think people are calling it like the analog moment where, they're going back to like written or like things that aren't as digital. But yeah, something recently, well, not necessarily recently, because I've actually been diarying since I was like in, I don't know, like a kid, since like, I don't know, 2013 or something like that. Because my mom or somebody, I'm pretty sure it was my mom, gifted me a like this purple Philippines notebook. Like I remember it. It had like the Philippines islands at the front, and I used that as like my diary. And so I would write, and I would kind of see the transformation of like, what any other like teen girl would talk about, like boys, whatever, school, drama, blah blah blah, this and that. And then it's kind of gotten into more serious stuff like throughout the years. And so it's actually just very interesting to kind of see my raw thoughts and emotions through those times. But yeah, so I have been journaling, but I guess that's really been the only form of like written stuff that I usually do. And I'm trying to force myself to write daily. Sometimes it would be sporadic only when I kind of needed to like release and stuff like that when I was ever really stressed. But yeah, so here are, let me see, all of my stuff. Okay, I basically have five. Five different notebook sets or five different purposes. I've never really had this many, but yeah, let me start off with I guess this one. This is one for like my business, Kiliko. Basically, any ideas I will just jot down here. So anything for like where the business is going or businesses in general, and then anything for like designs or products that I eventually want to do. Basically, this is my inspiration. So I'm not writing in this every single day, but like whenever I have a thought, I will put into this one. And then here. This is technically my daily one. So here you have my dog, Isa. That's Hades. This is Zeus, and this is Rachel. And then this is like Pokemon that I thought kind of looks like. These ones are called Pokepets actually because their mannerisms are similar to like pets, and this was inspired by like the artist's cats actually. But yeah, so this is what I write in every single day just to dump, and I kind of structure my prompts two ways, like the kind of my dear diary of like anything that I'm feeling, and then I kind of write like a dear future Sarah, basically kind of envisioning the dream life that I want, because your brain is a very powerful tool. If you think it, like eventually it will become your reality. The same way that like if you're really thinking hard about like for example a lemon and like how sour it is, like it's possible that your mouth can water. It's like the thoughts that you have, they're very critical, and if you're always like very negative, things like that, that's why you're going to become like a very negative person and see the world differently. So I'm trying to adopt a mindset that is very positive. I'm seeing a future, and that I really can achieve all the things that I could do, even if I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I just like to always have a positive mindset, or at least try to have a glimpse of what the future could look like and really work towards that. But yeah, so that's this one. Another one that I do daily, I'm not going to open it because it's really, really messy. This is something that I saw from, I forgot their creator's name, but I will look for it. It was more of like a brain dump. So she usually did this every so often when she had a lot of things on her plate. The way that she would do it is three columns of like, or actually like everything that she had to work on. And basically, she would set a timer for I think like 30 minutes to an hour, and she would cross off everything else. Anything else that she would mark and say like, okay, this actually I can't accomplish this right now, she would schedule it on her calendar for like a future date. So that's how she would brain dump. For me, I kind of use this as my everyday task list. So it's like three different columns for like the three different projects that I'm working on. So if it's like Kiliko or personal, I'll put those three spots there. I'm now trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of go about this, because obviously like for work and other stuff, I also have ClickUp and digital formats, and also like Google Calendar to do work. Like I used to Google Calendar my entire day. But yeah, so this is more of my daily that I'm still trying to figure out. Like I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But yeah, so I will usually like I kind of started picking this up like I'm at the very first like parts, like it was usually just like these two, maybe a couple months ago, or whenever I started this, which was I started this on 9/27, so yeah, about 2 months ago. These were kind of like the main two forms that I was using, and then also like my other Penco small one every so often. But at least for these ones, yeah, I would kind of use this one as like a daily, because I just wanted to mark down everything that I was doing. I think it was at a point where I felt like I was doom scrolling a lot and I didn't have actual task to show. And so that's why here I would write down the very simple things like, okay, um, eat, pray, meditate, like make your bed, or whatever. I would even put all those personal things so I could cross it off and feel accomplished. But then now that I kind of have those daily tasks that I want to do in here in my 30 hard, I'm trying to figure out, okay, at least I don't have to write down the task every single day, because that's kind of how I start my morning. It's like I'll write down all the tasks, or at least the important things that I need to do. So I think what this might turn into is only the important, like say 3 big things that I want to accomplish for the day. I'm not sure, because I also have a calendar in this. But yeah, so that's that one. And then for this one, it's not a traveler's journal. I guess it's a traveler journal's dupe. But basically, this is very customizable. So for example, here, I don't know if you could see like the string for it. Basically, I could take any of these notebooks out, which is like really cool because it's like you can reuse it all the time. But yeah, this one is a calendar, so it's unmarked so that I could basically tailor this to like any day that I need. And then I have, I'm not gonna flash it, but like I have another diary specifically for Kiliko work. So I'll just kind of track how I'm feeling about my business specifically. And then I kind of have my growth log. This is kind of my personal development. So for example, here it's like the 7 types of rest to get, and then just talking about like different things that I want to just keep in mind. Like for example, bread writing is not an actual break, you're just numbing your mind. And so obviously that's why I put down the different types of rest. And then another thing that I put, oh, it's like start your day moving, and then I was putting kind of like exercise lists and stuff like that. But yeah, these are like the bulleted, like the for like bullet journals, like the little dots. There's also one that's like blank pages, and then there's a little oopsie, like another thing here. Some people put their wallets, but then you can put like this is to draw lines and stuff. But yeah, so that's that. And then my last one is this. This is from High Tide at the Row, downtown LA. It's called Blanks, about blanks, because they use upcycled books. You can see that. And they put in the papers that, it's like your own journal. So I've really been into documenting my life, as this video diary is for, just documenting my life. But yeah, some of the days they kind of just pass and I kind of forget what's happening. Like even yesterday, I'm like, I did stay in a majority of the day. I did go out to run errands, but also I'm like, what was the highlight of my day? And so I really want to use this book to kind of just create more with my hands, because again, I don't want to be so reliant on everything like digital. So yeah, this one, basically every single day. I haven't been the best about keeping it up because I have to print pictures and it's a lot. But like for example, it's like, okay, I'll just do this every day, and it's like putting in a picture from each day. So this is November 9th, and then 10th, and then as you can see here, I haven't finished, but like yeah, it's the 20th, and I wrote down, so at least I know what I did that day, and I have to backtrack and just find the pictures. But yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16th, I have to catch up. And then 17, 18, and then 19 I have to do today. And honestly, maybe I do this at the very end of each week so that I could just print out all the pictures at once. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing over here. And yeah, these are, let me put these all together. Yeah, so these are all the books, the journals that I and I kind of use the notebooks for my like everyday life. But yeah, doing this in the morning kind of helps me just not be on my phone so much, so I can just start my day with like a fresh brain and just like dip everything and be as creative as I can when the morning starts. But yeah, thank you for watching this. This was day 2 of my holistic card, and hopefully tomorrow I can come back with a better update saying I accomplished more out of my list. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.